In this video, I'm going to teach you everything you'll need to know to get started with editing videos in any piece of software. And it's only going to take 5 minutes. Let's put that timer on the screen and dive in. Section 1. Editing is montage. Before we dive into the technical aspects of editing, we need to understand what editing actually is on a deeper level. Montage is defined as the rapid production of a rapid succession of images in a motion picture to illustrate an association of ideas. Now, what does this mean? Essentially, you can think of a montage like a paragraph, with its body being made up of individual shots acting like sentences. When you start to view shots as sentences, it makes visual storytelling a much less daunting task. Just like sentences, shots can convey simple ideas and can be long or short, simple or compounds. For example, a man wakes up at a park bench, or a young boy sits on his bed reading a book while his older brother is searching the shelves of an underground bunker. How does this apply to you and your video, you might ask? Well, basically, in order to create a cohesive video, you need to find the arc, a beginning, middle, and end, that you can communicate through the editing and juxtaposition of shots. Speaking of juxtaposition, let's see what the legendary film director Alfred Hitchcock has to say about it.
Now we have a close-up. Let me show you what he sees. He saw a woman holding a baby in her arms, and he smiles. Now what is he as a character? He's a kindly man. Now we'll put in a piece of film of a girl in a bikini. He looks, girl in a bikini, he smiles. What is he now? The dirty old man.
In this example, the meaning is communicated not just through the individual shots, but through the juxtaposition of them. Section 2. Organization is key. Let's pause for now with the conceptual aspects of editing and move on to something a little bit more practical. Before you begin actually editing your video, it's imperative that your media is well organized. After you import your media from your SD card, start by creating a folder with the title of your video, and create subfolders for every different type of media you have. Create a folder for your footage, sound effects, music, graphics, and even create one for your project file. Now, this process can become tedious if you create lots of videos and have to go through this over and over again, which is why I like to use a program like Post Haste. Post Haste is 100% free to download and allows you to create folder structures and save them as templates. Just make a project and hit create, and voila, you have all the folders you need for your video project. The reason why file organization is so important is that if a file gets moved on your drive, the program you are using to edit will no longer know where that file is, and it will disappear from your project until you relink it. Save yourself the pain and stay organized. Section 3. Cutting. The easy part. Now that you've got a bunch of shots and your files are organized, we can finally get started cutting everything together. The first step is to import all of your media into your editing program of choice. If you're just starting out, the program you use isn't that important because they all basically function the same. You can organize your media further into folders or bins within the program to keep things extra organized. However, it's worth mentioning that moving files from one bin to another won't cause your media to go offline like it would if you moved the location of a clip on your hard drive. Double-clicking on a piece of media will cause it to open in what's called the source window. From there, you can review your clip and make what is called in and out points. After selecting a piece of a clip using the in and out point shortcuts or the button beneath the source window, you can drag it into the timeline. Now, the timeline is where your video will ultimately be pieced together. Pieces of media are placed along the timeline in the order you want them to play out. Further, they can be dragged around and even placed on top of one another. The clip on the very top of the timeline will always be what's displayed in the program monitor, which is where the media of the timeline is displayed when you hit play, which is done, by the way, by hitting the spacebar or hitting the play button within the window. You can place music, sound effects, and graphics within the timeline too. Most editing software has a toolbar. Notable tools include a razor, which is used for cutting a clip at a designated point, and the text tool, which is used for placing titles on your video. Once you're happy with your edit, it's time to export, which is the process of rendering and compressing all of the media in your timeline into a single file that you can play back or upload to the internet. Remember, Google is your best friend. If you're trying to do something but don't know how, a quick Google search will usually offer a solution. Now, I realize that I'm only scratching the surface of what these programs have to offer, but I hope that watching this video has equipped you enough to get started editing your own videos. And if you happen to already be familiar with a piece of software and have already been using it to make your videos, hopefully you learned a thing or two about file organization or the philosophy behind editing. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see a more advanced video about editing, please let me know in the comments below. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.